Welcome to Basic Business AI, a podcast dedicated to simple AI strategies for businesses who don't want to get an advanced tech degree or hire some marketing bro. I'm your host, Josh Thomas. You can find me on all social media at JT Literally. We bring on regular business owners just like you, just like me, to discuss practical strategies, ideas, and perspectives about AI without getting too far into the weeds of the tech. BBAI is sponsored by Anabots. Did you know companies that respond to customer inquiries in less than 1 minute have a 400% higher chance of closing the deal? Our AI-powered assistants have an average response time of just 5 seconds, meaning you can close more deals without generating more leads. No tech skills are needed, and you can get started in less than 5 minutes. You can go to anabots.ai to learn more. Once more, that's anabots.ai. Today's guest is Bennett Maxwell. He's the chairman of Dirty Dough, a rapidly growing cookie franchise with an extensive background in sales, including building and exiting a solar company. Bennett, welcome to BBAI. And from your perspective, how is AI reshaping the future of your industry?
Man, it's reshaping the future of every industry. For restaurants, a lot of it is quality control. You have a lot of employees that sometimes they're teenagers, sometimes they're college kids. So how do you make sure that they're upselling and following the scripts and decorating the cookies correctly? Turns out the technology is so cool that you can do all of that automatically. So we don't have these things plugged in yet, but we have the hardware installed. Now you have to go train everything. But there's cameras everywhere, including where the employee, they have to open up the box and hand it, to the customer. Do these look good for you? So they're open and there's a camera right above that. And I've been told, I'm not the genius on this, the cameras can be trained to measure the diameter of the cookie, to measure the drizzles that go across and if it touches the sides, and give you an automatic ranking on each one. And then when customers come in, we measure wait times from the time they purchase till the time we give them the cookie. But what about wait times? How long were they waiting in line? How long were they in the store? Well, these cameras with the proper tech behind them can do the same thing. And then there's also audio. So you can know visually if the employee's saying hi, whatever, but also are they welcoming him into Dirty Dough? Are they telling them about, the stuffed cookies and what we are? Are they asking them to, if they already have a loyalty program or account, and if they're going to sign up for that? So anyways, lots of things, but why I'm most excited about the quality control and the simplicity that a business owner can now better monitor every cookie and every customer experience way better than they could before. And that's without even being in the store.
Wow. So basically, AI for you is the ultimate regional manager.
Yes.
It's like the Megatron of regional managers. That's amazing. Like, I never thought about that for 1 second, but you put a camera on there, the camera can analyze all of these things as long as you train it to do that. And AI can just parse, like, okay, here, how long before they got here and they made the purchase, was the process followed? Because we can use AI right now to analyze a sales call and give feedback and say, well, here's what happened based on our criteria. You missed this, this, and this.
Oh,
Why
that's
wouldn't
really
it be
cool.
able to take a video and say, oh, okay, well, you're supposed to hand the box to them like this. The cookie's supposed to look like that. Here's how they're supposed to be arranged. And it can just immediately assess that without anybody having to be there.
Yeah. Yes. The ultimate regional manager. I do
Yeah,
like
the
that. I mean, it's
the Megatron regional manager.
the Megaton, everything that
Megatron.
we're positioned at Dirty Dough. And we've grown pretty quickly. We opened our first franchise 2 years ago. We're at 80 something locations open, 400 plus sold. And I think most of it is the simplicity of the model. Like, you just walk into the store there in Austin or any store across, 20 plus states, grab a cookie, put it in the oven, press start. Like, it's that simple to run the store as far as making the cookie, because we make the cookies for them, already portioned, ship them out, and then they just are popping them in the oven. So it's all about the simplicity. And that's why I get really excited about the AI, because in that aspect, because I'm like, oh, it could make it easier to run, more simple for our franchisees, greater quality control, greater customer experience.
And that's the thing that's really interesting about it. And I am unfortunately a fanboy of Dirty Dough, because we were talking about in the pre, it's right across from the gym I work out at. And so they kind of cancel each other out, but it's totally worth it. But what I love about it is when I walk in, first of all, it smells amazing. Second of all, whoever's there, it's usually just like one person, sometimes it's two. And they always say, "Hey, welcome in, take a look at our specials." There's like this process you have them
Yep.
follow. It's a very uniform, predictable experience. It makes me feel like, oh, okay, these guys care about me, and that's why I'm paying like $5 per cookie or whatever,
Yeah.
and so finding ways to make that even more efficient. And I would say what's great about having you in here is it's not so much about the cookie industry, but this is about growing a franchise and having consistent quality throughout all of your locations. And that's one way that you mentioned using AI, and that's something I hadn't thought about.
When I got into cookies and dirty dough, I purchased it when it was one store. Never made cookies, never been in food, never been in franchising, none of that. But just like you said, it's the same business. It's just a different product, but it's processes, procedures, simplification, and then you mess up 100 times and then you try to fix it.
Yeah, welcome to being an entrepreneur. And and so where do you see if we do bring in the ultimate regional manager, where do you see that saving costs? Where do you see that increasing profits for a franchise? Now, you pointed out a couple of examples, but how does that impact our bottom line?
Yeah. So everything that I just told you, you should be doing anyway. Your employees should be doing that. The issue is when you have hundreds of franchisees, it just some of them aren't going to do that. A lot of them aren't going to do that. So more than anything, it sheds light on where your losses are. As far like, oh, out of all my customers, only 7% of them are loyalty members. That means we only have 7% of their phone number, email to retarget them, to give them discounts, to show appreciation and all that. And then it's like, okay, well, which of my employees isn't asking them to, hey, what's your phone number? Can I look you up? Or can you sign up and I'll give you a free cookie? Which employee? Well, that's where AI comes in. It's like, well, this employee's not doing it. So this employee needs better training. This employee is the one that's over baking the cookies because they had the worst scores. So it's more of like, I guess in those examples, the more loyalty percentage points you have applied, theoretically, they're going to come back more, right? So higher revenues, higher profits, better customer experience because we make sure that they're greeting and lower wait times. You're going to come back more frequently, higher
Yeah.
sales. And then on franchise sales as well, we're looking into an AI system like a chat bot. You plug in your franchise disclosure documents, which is everything that a potential franchisee is going to go through to see if they want the decision, and they can answer all the basic questions on like, what are these costs and what are these, and then schedule the appointment. So also kind of that top of, because I have two customers, franchisees, and then I also have, the end customer, the Joshes that come into the Austin store, right? And
Yeah.
and we're trying to leverage AI in both of those instances.
Yeah, very smart. And so what I'm hearing, just kind of echoing back to you, is anything that you want to grow and scale, AI is going to help you be more consistent with that and point out the issues and inefficiencies. Jacob, who works second shift on Thursdays, is cooking the cookies a little like 1 minute too
Yeah.
long, and that's causing a quality issue. Or Sally on Saturdays is not asking for the loyalty, and that's impacting our long-term recurring revenue. And you can point to specific things that are happening, which if you had somebody there just kind of monitoring and micromanaging everything, of course it can be done, but at what expense to
Yeah.
have somebody just sitting there and being like the warden? And how does that impact morale,
Yeah.
for somebody telling them they're doing something wrong all the time, rather as opposed to just saying, hey, we're going to set the expectations and we're monitoring them. You know what they are. Let's make sure that we're hitting them. And
Yeah.
now it's not like, oh, the boss hates me. It's just like, well, here's the expectations and we're just seeing if you did it or not. Did you swing the bat or did you not swing the bat? It's pretty easy to
Yeah. It
tell.
kind of takes the emotional side of like, I don't think that you're doing this correctly. It's like, you don't say that. It's like, here's the numbers. There's no judgment on it. It's like,
Yeah.
here's where the company is on drink sales, and here's where you're at on drink sales. My assumption is you're not asking after they say, that'll be all. You're not asking, would you like a drink with that? So how do I help you get better at that? But again, you can really take that kind of the emotional potential turmoil out of it. And it's just, we're just looking at the numbers and I'm here to help get your feedback. Why is everybody else here and why you're there? How can we bridge that gap? And I think that's super important. Back on the franchise sales side, We do our number one lead generator is social media, me being on social media and podcasts and all of that stuff. But that takes time. And then it's like, I don't I don't have the time, or more, I don't want to dedicate the time. So you'll do a post and you get comments, and it's like, how do you respond to those comments? I will have somebody out of the Philippines coming up with the captions and all that. But every time I read them, I'm like, that's not me. That's not how I'd answer. So then I just stopped reading them so it wouldn't bother me. Same thing, responses to comments. And then we got ChatGTP, and we're like, wait, what I had her do is the last 10 posts, pick 5 comments per post and have ChatGTP give 5 recommended answers. So there's 50 data points there. I went through them all, not only said which ones I liked, which ones I don't like and why. And then it got all the feedback. Then we did it again at a smaller sample size. I think we did like 3 posts with 3 comments each, whatever. And man, you go look at every single comment gets responded to my social media, and I never get on social media. And it actually sounds like me now, because ChatGPT, with a little bit of training, it's like, holy crap. Now we can really drive more social media, more franchise sales, without me having to be the one, allocating more of my time towards it.
Yeah, super smart. And I'd love to hear your opinion on this, because now we're going to flip the coin here, and you are using AI. In the beginning, we were talking about quality control, making sure that your employees are doing their jobs right. But I want to ask you, do you feel like at any point is AI going to replace your employees, or are the employees an essential part of this? They just need to be managed properly.
I think it will greatly reduce number of employees. I mean, I just can't imagine how it wouldn't, in pretty much all aspects everywhere. But yes, I think, obviously you need still employees, unless we go with robots to put the cookies in. But you need less management, because now one manager can manage more locations. One regional manager can manage more locations because they have the tools. So yes, it will reduce employee count for sure, but it won't quite replace them all, at least not right now.
Right. Yeah, and I was curious. I thought that's what you would say, because it's AI is not about replacing a human necessarily. It's about making a job more efficient. It's about
Yes.
reducing the need for so much manual labor, and not necessarily like we're going to wipe out humanity, at least not yet.
Yeah, I put that caveat. I'm like, 20 years, who the hell knows?
And so tell us where to go to learn. First of all, you can look up Dirty Dough. You're in 20 different states, right?
25. We're expanding.
25 states. You're in half the US. And if you're ever on the one at Palmer Lane and McNeil in Austin, you'll probably see me there. Go check it out, Dirty Dough. And if somebody's interested in potentially opening a franchise for Dirty Dough, where can we go to learn more?
Yeah, dirtydough.com, and there's all the information on franchising. My website, I have a personal website as well, bennettmaxwell.com, has links to all social media, Dirty Dough stuff. I do a podcast that's based joy and fulfillment. It's called Deeper Than Dough. So anyways, any connections, if you go to that website, all the links will be there.
Excellent. Well, hey, we're going to wrap from here. Thanks so much to our guest, Bennett Maxwell, for joining us for a very practical conversation about how to manage and grow your franchise with AI. For those of you who are interested in learning more about Bennett, you can go to his website, bennettmaxwell.com. Or if you're interested in Dirty Dough or becoming a franchisee, you can go to dirtydough.com. If you run a business of any kind and you have some ideas or strategies around the topic of AI, we'd love to have you on a future episode. We interview business owners of all levels of experience and exposure with AI to represent all voices, especially those of us who aren't tech geniuses. You can apply for a future episode by going to basicbusinessai.com. And one more time, if you want a 24/7 AI sales and support team for less than 10% of the cost of an employee, get yourself an Anabot. Learn more at anabots.ai. We'll see you next time here on Basic Business AI. And by the way, if you like this episode, tell your friends. See you later.